Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day it is for you. My name is Justin. Cool up in a whole host of names that you've always heard me say, but never really say. With that said, guess what we're doing? It's time for more Year of the Soldier. When we last left off, we were coming up until we have our next grind session. And the grind session is right here at good old Bunker. Bunker provides a lot of experience, has the possibility of dropping a sham. Shams are amazing shields if you've never actually used them. Personally, I have a fondness for absorb shields. And once we hit our next level, that's when we're going to go ahead and move on to the next location. A lot of stuff I can handle at lower levels because of the way the character is built. And as you can see, I'm actually doing significantly more damage again. As we were discussing earlier, because of the way that the game is designed and set up, and using something like the bee as my shield, it allows me a greater control over the game. It's coming in for another round. Ooh, that one tingled. Here we come. He's back. Coming back in. Now, interesting thing to notate. Top turret's going to keep going no matter what. And because of the angle that he came in, I'm not going to be able to hit it. So all I can do is continue to do this until exactly what happened. If the game beat me to it. Till it gets dive bombed by one of the the buzzards. It's going to fly away. It's going to pop up right about now. And we have another dead bunker. Now, another reason I do like to farm bosses like this, they tend to drop more iridium, and that iridium is good for, of course, equipment and stuff. Nothing. I like Saturdays being my day. But you can see I gained nearly what? A quarter of a bar off of that. The boss isn't that challenging.
Let's just get this out of the way. Yes, most of my merchandise was ripped in the hands of dead men.
And compared to some of the quests you can do, the side missions to get levels and stuff, this one is a lot faster compared to most of them. Every time you hear that extra noise on damage, that means the beast shield is doing its job. But
My boys got supplies for you. Look for the present with the white beacon. Get out to the ring if you need help.
don't need help. We're just going to clean these guys up to make it easier whenever he comes back. There you are. I don't know what was shooting. So, we have 4 bars left. Let's see how much this gives us, and we can determine if... Yeah. Nearly 2.5 bars. When we started, we were barely at level 24, and we're almost done leveling. And that has been done in approximately 7 minutes since I started the stream. Now, I will be honest, the likelihood of him dropping a sham is super low.
Now that's amazing.
When folks like K6 did it, I think he was playing on Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. And that would definitely make a huge difference. And this will probably be the last time I take him down, and then I'll probably move on to the next segment. But the good touch, bad touch is a great way for dealing with a lot of problems. Then we're going to be pausing to kill Saturn until we're on level with Saturn.
When you think murder, think Marcus Mutation.
But Saturn is a little bit different. Where Bunker's going to come in and out, Saturn pretty much stays relatively stationary. At least comparatively. Saturn doesn't move around the arena. You kind of come to his arena. Once you go to his arena, then you fight from there. I got caught by a laser. Explode her down.
My boys got supplies for you. Look for the present with the white beacon. The Slav's got an arrow for you out on the ring.
Not worried about ammo. I'm thinking he's stepping up his game.
You fellas meet the missus?
Which I do not need. Alright, there we go. He's gonna run away. He's gonna pop up over here. Level 25. And let's see what we get off of you. Let's see. Nothing good, nothing good.
Well, hello there, loot.
Yep. So nothing good. This is entirely not unusual. A lot of times you don't get anything good off of him on the lower levels, on the lower difficulties. Now, if you're looking for different types of builds, what you can do is there's a quest called the Good, the Bad, and the Mordecai. And that is actually a good quest for one of the best sniper rifles in the game, if not the best sniper rifle. Which kind of takes you all over the place, but you end up fighting a couple guys for a loot chest. And said loot chest has garbage, but they both drop a legendary item. One drops the Layuta, however you pronounce it. That one is the sniper rifle. It shoots out 3 pellets at once. The other one is the Varuk. And that is similar, but it is an assault rifle instead. Personally, I'm not a big sniper person, so it's a whatever from me. Now,
Welcome to the Iridium Blight. Before Hyperion, this place was, well, still...
do you like rocket launchers? Blowing your enemy to bits? I mentioned that. See why we took the time to level? Now, even before we get to Saturn, there is a nice little enemy out here that drops a terrific rocket launcher. Let me see. Is he spawned? He is not spawned over here. Let's check the other place. And he's not. Oh, wow. That's not often.
Intruders detected. Locking path to info stockade.
Damn it! Jack doesn't want us getting close to it. Brick, you got a plan to get to the stockade?
Blow stuff up.
That's my plan.
Vault Hunter. Get the Sawtooth Calder.
Yeah, but there's a boner fart out here that gives a great rocket launcher.
My boys can blast open the path to the info stockade, but they'll need some better firepower. You're gonna steal some explosives for them.
Now, this place actually does have some really cool side missions. There's one where Jack is really trying to tell you to kill yourself, and he will give you stuff for it because gameplay-wise, we respawn. However, in universe, he's just trying to get you to kill yourself.
To get to where Sawtooth bandits are keeping the bombs, you gotta go through Guano Grotto. You'll have to push through a buttload of saw teeth, but hell, wouldn't
Would
be any fun otherwise, right?
split.
My slayers have been fighting the Sawtooth for years. These bastards handed dozens of Vault Hunters to Jack once the pay got good enough.
Grind them up!
You kill them all, Vault Hunter, and you smile while you do it.
On the move! Nothing like a turret kid!
Am I gonna be able to do it?
Not dead yet.
No! I expected to live through that. I really did. Get 'em, boys!
You gotta steal some Y-94 Domo charges if you want to get into the info stockade and find the warrior. Take the elevator to get to where they store them.
Well, I'm a dumbass.
That's right! Deploying sentry! Go back! That's right! Let her mow you down!
Look, everybody! It's a witty bitty slab trying to use our elevator. Get him!
You can still run! Here, I'll let you go!
And these ambush commanders, every last one of them suck. Because they hide behind those shields.
Grenade! Say hello, beautiful! Oscar Mike!
And then shit like that happens.
Did you miss me?
This section is annoying because I hate to take it slow. I do not like to take my time in here. So what happens is I begin to rush. Do you want to blow up a snowman? Splatter water everywhere.
Did you miss me?
Hyperion hopes your death was a learning experience, but wouldn't mind if you made
Yeah, it's not a learning experience. I've done this before. Okay, throw that down. See? See? Shit like that.
If any idiot ever tells you that life would be meaningless without death, Hyperion recommends killing them.
What? No, 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 no. That should not have bounced back towards me. Not one little bit.
Hyperion would like to take this opportunity to say, cha-ching.
This takes me back. Last time I was here, I had Tiny Tina riding piggyback, right? Throwing grenades at the saw teeth while I punched them in the red mist. The looks on their faces.
Now, see, it's not the overall damage that's getting me.
I've killed a lot.
It's just the number of things.
Do me a favor. Think about how all of those training experience counted for nothing once you met me. And ask yourself, if I could kill the wise recruits and raiders without breaking a sweat, how hard would it be to kill a psychotic bandit king and a drunken frickin' sniper?
Running the world?
Around my neck, sapping me dry. Promise me, so long as there's a bullet left in your gun, promise me you'll make Jack pay.
Ready for more? Take this!
What got me there? Like, no joke, what got me there? I thought I had full health and full life. Come on. You're down. Good. Now you're down. Making my way downtown. Walking by and by. Bye. Ba 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 ba. Bye bye bye. Hi there, badass psycho. Do you like the headshots? Do you want even more? Okay, good. Oh, I bet you I know what it was. I bet it was a fire melon that I didn't catch. Go. Or shoot you in the back.
I want to be clear about something. This isn't about Pandora anymore. It's about
And this right here only confirms what I said last stream. This had him being a bad father has nothing to do with him being an actual bad father. It has to do with this statement here. Like a lot of helicopter parents and like
There's nothing more to love
Karen
than
parents.
buzzard boombringer. If you destroy him, so easy you'll have to ride the
It's only about them. And you're probably going, cool, well, yeah, that's a baseline psychological examination. Anyone could do that. And you know what? You're absolutely right. However, I asked a specific question. And when it comes to stuff like that, I like providing answers if I have one.
Border won't be happy to see his buzzer go up in smoke, so he'll take the elevator down to fight you. Oh, and after you blast Boombringer, don't look at the explosion. Just walk away from it.
That slap just blew up my buzzard without even looking at the explosion. But I
So, I don't know how that works exactly. I think you just can't be looking that direction in general, which I know sounds kind of self-evident, but I've never gotten a solid answer on exactly how that works. Or when the calculation is done for if you're looking. Like, is it moment of impact, moment of explosion, the final hit? Like, when does it actually count? Considering I'm under-leveled again, which, like I said, this is pretty standard for me to be under-leveled throughout this game. I normally have equipment to compensate for
Thanks for using this
the level thing.
I'm the one who knocks!
Now, this guy is tough for different reasons. He's using a pretty badass torch shotgun to begin with. And my shield is not a good shield, like for protection.
Hyperion recommends
Deploying
wreaking
sentry.
vengeance on the thing that kills you.
You really are the best slab ever.
And I try to avoid doing shit like that.
Thanks for the scratch. Don't have too much fun.
My boys are gonna come in and steal the explosives, but the sky's gotta be clear first. Take out those buzzards. Man, why don't these guys just give up? You already killed their boss. Idiots.
Okay, where's the next one at? There we go. Almost got you, come on. There we go.
Now mark those crates for pickup and my boys will come and get them. They'll need those charges to blast open the path to the info stockade.
Beep, 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 beep.
Got some slabs heading in for pickup.
Uh.
Watch your head. Slabs coming in.
And they will kill you.
Well done.
I'm waiting for one
Jump
reason.
off the east end of the tower if you want to get back to the fast travel station in the quickest and badassest way possible.
Oh, he didn't say it this time. And I did get my car up and running. It was just the battery. I'm hoping tomorrow that it continues to work as it should.
A fantastic day for capitalism. Lovely. Farewell, friend.
Hey y'all, welcome to the new and improved Kitchen Ride. Now
gassy gas. Did I see you spawning? King Mong! Nothing good. So King Mong can drop the Bada Boom. The Bada Boom is a very, very nice firearm, rocket launcher. He spawns in 2 locations, right outside that door, and right over here, which is when you, when I first came through here, you saw me check here as well.
The way to the info stockade is open. Get in there and find out where Jack's got Lilith and the Warrior. While you're doing that, I'm gonna pay a visit.
Now, Arid Nexus, the Boneyard. This brings us to a very important bit. Now, so far we've been using a, let's call it a classic
See that building
B
with the
shield.
light shooting out of it? That's the info stockade. We're gonna get you there through the main Iridium pipeline. Head there now. There should be a ladder on the side of the pipe leading to a maintenance hatch. You can use that.
Now, we got to swing by Sanctuary here. Sanctuary is going to give us a quest. Mordecai, in fact, is going to give us a quest. And what this quest is going to do is it is going to allow us to get the monster being that can drop the B shield.
Explain it to me again.
Like I said, instead, you've been listening to those Hyperion newscasters saying you're killing kids and keeping puppies?
I found the guy who's
I would never kick a
He's the
puppy.
Arid Nexus. Pay him a visit and set the record straight.
It's dangerous to go alone, jerkwad. Out of my face! Out of my face!
Okay.
You fed that claptrap here, but that I will never forgive.
Move along.
Appreciate it, sugar. That reminds me of something Jimbo hoped. Oh, it's the thought that counts. Why don't you come back when you've got some? I wish bandits could attack.
Now, I'm going to give her the vast majority of my money till I get the counterpart to the Good Touch. Those are both Moxie. Isn't it cute? But it's wrong. Okay. As I was saying, before I get all snarky, this gives us a chance to get a leveled up B shield.
This just in, Pandora. The bandit scum who killed Jack's daughter has just set the Old Haven orphanage ablaze. And... It's you! Die, bandit scum!
Reinforcements requested at Hyperion Troops Network. Deployed.
Nothing good this time around. Now, we go ahead, we turn this in, and he will continue to respawn. Now, there's another way to do this. And in casual playthroughs of the game, it's what I do. You can also spawn, get drops off of the treants in the Tiny Tina DLC. And the treants will actually drop the B shield. Depending on which mode you're in, it might actually drop on level, or it might drop, I think, it's a lower level. I just don't remember what it is. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Explain it to me again.
Like I said, instead of punching, I prefer.
Now, there's a couple ways to actually do this. You can get a longbow singularity grenade, and what'll happen is the way the game sees it, it'll actually pull Hellquist out, and I think another Hellquist will walk out a moment later. You can get 2 kills for the council price of 1. There's a lot of little interesting things with the game. Like the possibility of midgets jumping out of one of these. Which is why you see me continue to check it. Now, something to note. Just because that's red does not mean it isn't usable. Okay. Ooh, I am gonna have to take another moment from you guys. I am so sorry. Alright, I actually have a topic now. So, for those of you... sorry for taking so long. For those of you who know me, you know I've worked in customer service a long-ass time. I believe in something called purge protocols. Especially with the rise of Karenism. That's what I'm calling it. You can deal with it. So, dealing with Karenism, which is the Karens, we have hit a point where people are intentionally being ignorant ass motherfuckers to customer service. Now, me personally, I have worked a literal decade in customer service in one facet or another.
Another sentry kill.
And that is not, by the way, hyperbole. I have worked a literal decade in customer service in one fashion or another. I have been the escalation person you request to speak to. I have been the guy who takes the phone calls. I've been the guy who says, well, let's see what's going on before I transfer you over, and then I solve your fucking problem before it gets to a manager. There is a guy which did an absolute great number on this shit on TikTok. Like I said, it's pooping material. And one of his jokes is he was talking to a rude ass customer, and he says, I'm gonna come down there and kick your ass. He goes, you don't know who the fuck I am. You think Brad's my real name? I'm the fucking Lizard King. Now, that's a reference to The Office, and I don't know if that's a reference beyond The Office. Anyways. And then after that, he does one where a newbie is getting harassed by the same type of person. And they basically take over the call and says, I'm going to track your, I'm going to track your account, and if I hear that you've been talking like this to any of my representatives again, I'm going to make your life a living hell. For anyone out there who might be borderline on that Karen shit, that customers always right type of bullshit, know this. If you have given your information to a company, most customer service reps can read it. That's not a joke. That's not a threat. It's the truth. Customer service typically has your information. Because your phone number is typically tied to your account, and whenever you come through an IVR, unless you're got your telephone number blocked, you normally, they know your information. So, never, ever, ever be rude to those people. Now, there's opportunities for it, and I'm going to be honest with that. Sometimes, yeah, those guys are fucking up hard, and they need to be put in their place. But normally, that's not the case. Like, the one time out of a billion that they've made a mistake that's like an unfixable mistake, it's rare. Nothing. Kermit, who's a frequent person in the channel, he'll tell you the same thing. Customer service, they know your information. And for some people, that let me get your manager crap just don't fly. I was one of those people. The only customer service I did for like directly IT was for a service desk. And the service desk had enforced decorum. They were not allowed to be rude to us. But I talked to some people, well, I've had 2 service desk jobs. The other one, the role was different, but I did some service desk stuff. good. I'll take that. I'm not going to use it, but I'll take. So, why do I mention this? A lot of those people who you might call and talk to, not all of them have the intestinal fortitude they really need for that job. I used to be what the bank that I worked for called the peer coach. I was an actively working agent. I took phone calls, and for about 2 to 4 weeks, I would stop taking phone calls and I would assist with the training class. By basically shoulder surfing, going over your calls, things like that. Well, there are a few people who should be drummed out right then and there. Long before we get to the point where, someone's gonna make them cry. No. But yeah, your average agent, you should not ever be ornery with them. Like, you give me purge protocols, I'm going in on that ass. If I ever have to work a customer service job, I will tell them if I do not have for me to work another customer service position, I have to be allowed to have purge protocols. That is, someone calls in, they're trying to light my ass up, I'm lighting them right back. Hop in this pan because you're about to get roasted. Banking is super easy. You know, Mel, I understand that. I can see that you recently spent $300 at the liquor store. And you're telling me it's my fault you can't put diapers on your baby. Even if I were to waive every last one of your fees, that is not going to be able to put diapers on your baby at this point. And if you're thinking, oh, well, you're just being hyperbolic there. No, I'm not. At my time at the bank, I took 2 of those calls. Where they wanted me to waive about $300 in fees. And they were blaming me for not being able to put diapers on their babies' butts. And I did the most professionally petty thing I could ever do with it. I ran down her charges. I told her how much she had in fees. And then I told her, ma'am, even if I were able to waive these fees, you would still not have a positive balance and you would not be able to make any purchases today. Your card is locked up until you have a positive balance. Let me speak with your manager. Ma'am, I am a senior service specialist here, and you'd be the one to speak with me. My actual manager does not handle phone calls. He does paperwork. That's what I'm here for. Some of those people, I tell you, they are just silly pants. They just don't understand that what they're asking for is so much different than what they're going to get. Banking is one thing I can kind of understand people getting a little upset about. Money's important, and if you're out of money, in a lot of cases, you're just out of fucking luck. But with that said, yeah. Straight up, I believe in the purge protocols. I think they should be enforced in every single customer service center. You call in with a snarky attitude without like a really good reason for it. You got one bad experience. That CSR, customer service rep, should be able to just turn right around and just throw it right back in your face. What do we got? And this applies not to just like customer service. This applies to any type of customer service. IT, you call in. I had a buddy. a friend. I had a friend who worked for, he did IT for the prison department. And people would call in and say, I can't deposit money into my son's account. Why is your website messing up? And he would go, okay, are they on any type of restriction right now? And they'd go, I don't know. I haven't heard from him in like 3 weeks. All right, so go ahead and try to make a purchase now. What does the website say? Does it say you are unable or we are And they would always say, oh, it says this person is unable to receive any money right now. Well, that must be wrong because my son's a good child. That's the way he tells the story. I'm pretty sure he was accurate with it. I worked in customer service way too long to think that that's fake. But yeah, the website would literally tell them you are unable to deposit money into this person's account. Mention them by name, and the person would go, oh, well, that can't be right. It has to be messed up. There's no way he would be in trouble. And when he told me this, my mouth ran off before my brain had a moment to... Because we were playing a private game, playing Vampire the Masquerade. We sat down and he was telling me about this because we were getting to know each other. And he's like, yeah. And they would say, yeah, my son doesn't do anything wrong. Like, okay, first off, your son's in prison. It is highly likely they did something wrong. He's like, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, moreover than that, he's in prison. Like, I think the point of not believing your child is capable of wrongdoing is well past the point of yes or no. Like, I think we have firmly established that yes, indeed, your son or daughter is probably capable of committing a crime, or even worse, committing more crimes. Now, real quick, that's not to say that that person is not wrongfully convicted, but that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is IT gets stuck with a lot of bullshit. And that was one that I find to be like, yeah, that's right on the money. Because I have had those ridiculous level calls. I have had those calls where I've had to ask people, like, I don't like to ask the question. I always assume that you know how to plug in the goddamn computer. That is my primary assumption with when I worked at for the IT troubleshooting. My first assumption was always, you knew how to turn that motherfucker on. Well, I worked at a company, and occasionally, people did not know how to turn on their computers. I'm like, all right, so locate the button for me. Hit the button. What happens? Nothing happens. Okay. So I'm going to have to ask you an embarrassing question, but is it plugged in? What do you mean, is it plugged in? I've had that response. That has been a real response I've gotten from someone who can't turn on their computer. Like, it's even I don't think it's a stupid question to ask anymore. I really don't. Like, I prefer to assume people know the basics about computers. I don't need you to know what ipconfig does on your computer. But you should have enough common sense to know if your computer's turned on or off. So I asked them if they've got it plugged in, and they're like, I have no idea if it's plugged in. Well, let's start there. They hadn't plugged it into the wall. I'm like, ma'am, that's going to be your problem. And like, are you being sassy with me? And I'm like, no. No, I'm not. I wanted to be sassy. I always want to be sassy with those types of people. Like, I mean, give Shogun Stick some love. He's a Twitch creator, or TikTok creator. Give that dude some love. Straight up, I love the way he handles things professionally petty. I imagine some of those stories might be a little exaggerated, but nonetheless, it's the way you can get revenge on some people within the rules, hilarious. Ooh. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Nope. That's mine. Okay. Half a level to get it. But yes, this shield is going to be very much worth it. Once we level up next, you're going to see the difference in the damage. Now, something that's going to be changing in Wonderlands is, from what they're saying, everything's going to scale automatically. You don't have to move up to the next tier difficulty. I will say I'm not, of all the things that I've read about it, I am not fond of the automatic scaling for some of it. I'm mixed on it. Let's put it that way.
God damn it. You okay? Looks like the ladder's busted. Still, the pipe looks cracked. I bet if you raise the pressure, you can blast the pipe wide open to get inside that way. Yeah. Head to one of the pumping stations. Good. You made it.
Slam! Mordecai! I made it to the Hyperion outpost. Just give me some time and I'll steal a drop barge. Once y'all find out what the warrior is, we can all go after it together.
Pop 1, pop 2.
Cool. Hit the two pump stations and raise the pressure till that pipe's fit to burst. Bust the pipe, get into the stockade, and find out where the warrior's buried.
Hey, buddy. Sweet rolling. Vince Kill, Handsome Jack, and we'll all go out for fuel shakes.
No, I'm just playing. He's still really dead. Grabbed his echo unit when I left. Just wanted to tell you the villager's doing a bang-up job charging the bulk for you. The warrior will make in no time.
Not dead yet!
Yeah, but yeah, well, like I was saying, don't be rude to those guys. A lot of those folks have a lot more information than you want them to have. And I could tell you, you do not need to be a cybersecurity expert to get a lot of people's information.
Start running!
For a lot of people, a simple Google search is enough to get a lot of your information. And if you have anything on shared accounts, it can begin to fuck you up pretty heartily. A really good example of this is I actually have about 5 different YouTube accounts. Some of them I have because I began to work on a project with other people, and then other people fell out, but I still have access to the account because I'm the one who created it. Because if I'm going to hyperfixate, I super hyperfixate. And I try to get things done with that hyperfixation. Hello. But I do have one account. One of my accounts is labeled as my troll account. It's a name you have to know to get. You have to know me to understand that it's me. And more importantly, you have to understand some demonology to get it. I know a little bit about demonology. I don't know a lot. Like I said, whenever I start my streams, the host of names is a joke. As demons are often presented with more than one name. So you could count that as a host of names. But yeah. So that is actually my troll account. Is my secondary account. I also have like a business professional account that I use for like resumes and getting jobs. And my Cool Imp name, my Cool Imp identity is tied directly to my first and last name. If you know where to look, you can find it. But for the most part, you're not going to just go type in Cool Imp and get my first and last name. My author account, because I am a self-published writer, author, but I'm an author nonetheless. That actually has no connection to my real first and last name, other than my PayPal account. And you have to know my PayPal account, which requires you to know a lot more about me than you will ever get to really know. Maybe my little brother could figure it out, but most other people don't know me well enough to get the connection between my pen name and my my real name. And that is why I think a lot of people don't like really grasp the internet as well as they think they do. A friend of mine, so my older brother had his birthday a couple weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, it was sometime in February. We went to a place called Bubba Gump's. Now, when I sit down for dinner, I normally don't check my phone a lot, unless it's me and my wife and we're just kind of like chilling. Because like tonight we went to a place that she loves the fried rice there. They have some really good lemon chicken because I don't feel like actually eating food. So I sit down, and while I'm eating my food, because I'm eating finger food, I actually sit down and I'm reading through articles. Now, when I go out to my brother's birthday, which, by the way, had some horrendous food, like no joke. Maybe it was just the particular chefs that night, but that food was garbage. A friend of mine, like an old family friend of ours, reaches out and says, "Hey, Justin, you've heard about Ukraine and Russia?" And I'm like, "Yeah, a little bit. I'm not like fully on and in depth into it. I probably should be." But she's like, "You've heard about the cyber attacks?" I'm like, not directly. I don't know all the extent of it. But I know that there's cyber attacks going on. And I think, if I recall, like, Russia's getting owned on the cyber front. And we had a conversation about it. And I was talking with her, and I'm like, "Yeah, let me tell you a secret." And I'll say this over and over again so people will actually understand this. The greatest weakness in your home security is you. It is not the hacker with a $5 program who's going to get onto your computer. Because they're not going to just go, "Okay, I have your IP address. Now I can be a cyber criminal and hack your terminal." What they're going to do is they're going to send you an email and they're going to fish it out of you. And I talk about this because this is actually one of my passions. It comes from one of the dumbest movies out there, but it's a relevant movie. It gets some of the mechanics right, but a lot of the terminology and a lot of things that happen in that movie are real world ways of doing exactly what they did. The movie Hackers is decent. Some of it's fake, some of it's real. But let me be blunt. The weakness is always humans. It is never never's the wrong word. The biggest problem, let me phrase it that way, the biggest problem in people's information security is not the software they're using. It's the people they hire. I was just talking about the IT job I was working not too long ago. In that job, I sat next to a guy who was with the Scrum team, which is a type of development team. Or at least I think that's what his job was. I forget what his exact title is. And we were having a conversation about information security in general. And I'm like, yeah, da-da-da-da-da-da. And this was right as COVID happened. And he gets an email saying, hi, we're from the head office. We are taking a look into who is vaccinated. This was even before vaccine was out. We would like to check your status. And it was basically the email was checking to see if you click. Because what happens is, and this is something a lot of people don't know, is the real problem is clicking that link. And what happens is, because it's on your email at work, you assume the information security team has already reviewed it and has let it come through. But not every email gets stopped by the filters. He wasn't paying attention, and he's used to getting external emails. Because I was a contractor, I couldn't get external emails. So all external emails were automatically flagged for me. And whenever we get to this point, he gets the COVID one, and without even thinking, he clicks on it. And I'm like, really, man? He's like, I didn't even think. And here's the catch. The information security team at that company was ruthless. If there was a national disaster, they did exactly what cyber criminals do. They went to exploit it. You would get an email after a hurricane asking for hurricane relief money. And people fell for it. And what's worse is... Ooh, E-Tech. What's E-Tech? Sniper. And so what'll happen is they will flat out do everything they can to manipulate you. Broad ones? Yep. Narrow ones? Will they spearfish you? Absolutely. Like the people who are repeat offenders for getting hit by the phishing emails, they spearfish them. And if you don't know what spearfishing is like targeted attacks instead of like broad attacks. So a broad attack is emailing the entire company saying, hey, we're checking your COVID status. Have you been vaccinated? While a spearfishing campaign is targeted at a single person, normally a person of power, and you're trying to get that one person's specific information. They'll start spearfishing them. They'll check their email signature. Once they get that email signature, they start looking. Okay, we see you belong to this committee, this committee, this committee, this committee. All right, we're going to fake emails from those committees. Why? Because you need to be more attentive. You keep getting caught. Why do you keep getting caught? Like, they were mean. They would go after you. Charitable organizations. I've said it before. Jason Street is really good at the in-person... Like, I don't know how he does from a social engineering, like for phishing. But he said he will literally walk into a place with a cat on his lap, if that's what it takes to, like in a wheelchair, cat on his lap, if that's what it takes to penetrate your building. Because that's what he does. He's a penetration tester. If that's what it takes. And one of the things he'll do at the beginning of each of his speeches is go, so whenever I'm telling you these things, remember the cats at the beginning of the presentation. Because he puts out a few really cute cat pictures, and then he goes into all the evil, devious, devilish stuff he does. Sorry, gotta focus there for a moment. And the one weakness, and this has been echoed through every single person that I've ever come across who talks about information security, either as a broad concept or as a point for like teaching people. They say your biggest weakness is always the people. You can spend millions on software a year, but if Dave down in accounting goes ahead and clicks on a link in an email and provides his credentials to somebody else, Dave just let a cyber criminal into your network. And you have two options with Dave. Try to educate him or fire him. How much experience am I going to get off of you? Oh yeah, I can switch over to the new B now. Shields. Yeah. Okay. He does actually drop a pretty badass rocket as well. So, yeah, nothing good. So, if you are ever having an issue, if you're ever thinking about information security, remember, your greatest weakness is yourself. It always will be. You can pay a company $10,000 a pop for them to come in and basically tell you the same thing. Your biggest weakness is going to be your people. And that's the one thing that constantly requires the most training. Is making sure your people stay up to date on how to prevent information security attacks from their end. What type of bee is this? Inflammable? Ah! And that's something I tell people a lot. Take a look into your information security policies. Take a look into the way that you run your home network. See what's going on with it. Do you have like an allow all type of mentality where because you want easier browsing around the internet, you allow any traffic on your computer? Or do you have a more restrictive policy in general where it's like, well, I really don't want to let anything onto my computer because I'm afraid of something happening? And one of the things you want to consider while I'm talking about this, because this really is a subject that I appreciate and I understand, always think about who you let onto your computer, your physical computer. Way back in the day, my little brother and his friends like to experiment with programs called rats. Now, to my knowledge, I'm going to put a big old emphasis here. They never did it to somebody's computer who was not in their social circle. They would always get permission to do it, and they have made a game out of trying to get onto each other's computers. I know one of his friends, was very much interested in some more illicit activity. By the way, that's the difference between the two B shields, if you can't tell. And they, I think, was much more active in trying to get it on. As in, the guy was teaching everyone how to get people to fall for this stuff and how to put it on their computers. I don't remember what happened to that guy. I don't think he was a bad person, but he was one of those people, it's like, okay, I know this guy. I knew a guy who once claimed to be a part of Anonymous. I don't know if it was true. It's one of those things that fall under the extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And some random quiz on 4chan is not what I imagine when I think of Anonymous. Yeah, we can use private servers where only people who are allowed on can get onto it. But no. We're going to use 4chan. That's going to be our method of dissemination of information. And we're not just going to have, like, coded language there. We're going to use quizzes that anyone can take, that they're supposed to just know what the answers are for their particular group of Anonymous. Could he have been with them? Hell yeah. I will not deny that that's a possibility. Do I believe it? No. And it had more to do with the person himself. He never really exhibited hacktivist mentalities to me. Interesting story about that guy. We actually worked at a couple of places, like, right next, not always together. Like, I was always coming into a company as he was leaving it, type of thing. Hey, love. 1 minute, please. My wife wanted my attention, and she always gets what she wants. So, I never saw this guy as kind of like a hacktivist guy. And for anyone wondering, hacktivists are still cyber criminals if they are doing it, accessing someone's system without their permission. It is kind of the point of a hacktivist, but it remains the same. There we go. That's something to replace it. Okay. So, because I'm not playing through Ultimate or True Vault Hunter mode, slag isn't that important. And I'm only going to get up to the next level off of him because from here on out, once I get to level 28, with the equipment setup I have, I can make it through the rest of the game, no problem. But slag is super important overall. Slag transfusion is things that are right up my alley.
Grind 'em up.
But if you're ever sitting there having questions about this stuff, feel free to ask. There are plenty of free resources. You should never have to pay for basic cybersecurity advice. And that is not to say there's not reputable companies out there who can provide you with good advice. I'm just saying, oh, oops. No. I thought that was homing. Yeah, that's a no. But yeah, if you don't know the person, it's probably a fake email. And this is one thing I will tell people. It is better to side on the air of caution with stuff like this than to go, oh, I think I know that person. He has a great and amazing opportunity for me in sales. No. No.
It's a fine day, full of opportunity. I'm sure we'll be doing this again.
Also. Never answer a Facebook quiz. And I'm talking specifically those quizzes that ask you your favorite animal's name, where you grew up, the first school you went to. Those quizzes are specifically designed. It's a bad one, but it's not better than the B. Those quizzes are designed by cyber criminals because it gets all the information they need to steal your shit. Because how many people have an email address that is their first and last name? Or first dot last name? Or first initial last name? I'm betting a lot of people have that. Now see, Coolimp at Gmail should be obvious why I have that one. That has been my identity. The Cool Imp has been my identity. And I say the because I'm the only one. Cool Imp is my identity and it has been online for a very long time. I made the name back in the 90s when intentionally misspelling shit was a cool thing to do. And I thought about how can I mess up the spelling well enough for it to be like seen as an act of rebellion. Because I was a fucking teenager and you know, you gotta be spicy when you're a teenager. You're not really a teenager.
Yeah, I know you think I'm a monster. You think
You are a monster. You did.
You didn't see what she did to her mother.
Yep.
I had to restrain Angel's power.
No, you didn't.
You get that? I had to.
And I'm sure he had to exploit her for profit and power, too. Don't listen, Vault Hunter.
I wasn't planning on it. Like, why is... So, I understand why this... So, nitpicking mode. Activated. So, let me point something out. This is literally telling us what we already know. There is something in storytelling, not just storytelling, but in writing in general. Show, don't tell. Sorry. And what they're doing is they're telling a lot of stuff. But they're telling us stuff that we already basically know. We know Jack was a bad father. We know he abused his daughter.
Great job, amigo. Now that you're in,
We know he was an insufferable asshole. We don't need to be told this stuff like it's brand new information. And moreover, more information just to make us dislike Jack more. There's nothing that's going to make us actually sympathize with Jack as a character. Hell, the pre-sequel tried that shit and it failed horribly. I mean, they tried. I'm just saying that they failed.
Sent all the iridium he's mined straight to the hero's pass. That must be where the warriors buried. Get back to Sanctuary. This time,
Mother fornicator. Let's see if I can't get back up on my feet. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. Yep. So, being honest, be safe out there. Oh, I need to grab the thing, don't I? Yeah. So, being honest, a lot of stuff out there is meant to grab your data. And you're going to be your best line of defense. I'm going to reference him again, but Jason Street said, never train people how to protect your data. They will never care about your data. But they care about their data. Train them to protect themselves at home, and they will bring those same skills to work because it's a habit. Now, you shouldn't have to train someone to wipe their ass, but most everybody on the planet knows how to wipe their ass. Which leads us to exactly what things like this are talking about. Don't teach them to protect your data. Teach them to protect theirs, and it'll work a lot better. And it's something I truly believe in, which is why I repeat it very often. You did not die when you were supposed to die.
I'm ready for more.
Okay. Never think someone else is going to protect your data. You are literally the only person who can do it. You have McAfee? Cool. You have Norton? Cool. You have Bitdefender. Whatever you happen to be using. I use Bitdefender myself. That's the reason I mentioned it. They're not paying me, but I like them as a company. When I take a look at their product, it makes sense to me. But you're the only one who can truly protect your own data. And that will always lead us back to the same point. Take a look at what comes in. If there is information that can be used on a security question, never put it on Facebook. Most people don't private their Facebooks. Most people don't have a backup Facebook or a backup checking or not checking savings, a backup email account. Most people have everything, all their eggs in one basket.
Jack, Lilith, and the warrior are heroes past.
And when I tell people stuff like this, they look confused about some of it.
You gotta prepare. Do it now. Go check around the city. These people don't have much, but they still want to help you.
Why'd you bought something yet?
Hyperion's locked the entrance to Heroes Pass.
Okay.
Get back to Claptrap.
Challenge
Need
complete.
him to open the way for you.
Cool.
Rick and I
More
will finish what's
SMG.
left.
Ooh, let me
Win
sell.
or lose, we're gonna finish this together. For
For
blood.
Bloodwing. For Roland. For Pandora.
If you got the money, I'll save your gold-earned life.
No, I have something to compensate for that. No, it's a spiker. No, okay. If it was homing, it would be like right up my alley. Okay. So, if you ever get something like that, if you ever see those quizzes, call them out. Like, blatantly call them out. Say, why are you trying to data mine me?
Favorite gun, but you might get some use out of it.
Ooh.
One step. How generous of you. Here,
And then I should get a...
gun. You'll understand.
Haha! Good touch and a bad touch.
Constant vigilance.
Both the same level. Okay. But yeah, I call those out. Whenever people pop them up on my Facebook page, I go, hey, you know these are used for getting people's like security questions, right? A lot of people don't like me for that one. Because they're like, oh, well, it's just all in good fun. Yeah. It's all good fun for you. The guy who's about to steal your account is even better that it's all in good fun. Because that old boy's going to walk away with all of your stuff. And that's kind of the catch. And it's the reason So even back when I was a kid, the hacker stuff interests me. And I'm not putting down my little brother with this next comment. What his friends were doing never interested me. I thought it was boring, and I thought it was self-indulgent.
You do what you have to.
It really felt like a bunch of kids playing at hacker.
Even if it means taking me out.
Now, granted,
Damsel.
even back then,
You out in Heroes Pass.
we knew better than to click on those click on stuff like that. At least our family did. We grew up with the technology and whatnot.
It's been a hell of a lot of fun.
Is he down here? Huh. All right. But yeah, because they messed around with rats in between their computers, remote access Trojan or remote access tool, depending on who you talk to, they ended up actually like learning a lot about it. Later on, my little brother would stop doing that type of stuff. He had other interests in life, mostly around ass and the getting of. And got to experience me with a very, very neck-beardy moment. God, I still feel fucked up about that night. Hi. Yeah, you're not gonna do that, Claptrap.
You killed my friends. You destroyed my product line. I am the last claptrap in existence, and I am going to
Teabag your corpse. I love his enthusiasm.
Minion! Draw their fire with your face while I cloak my way over the door controls.
Hello!
Good job, Minion! I'm uncloaked over by the controls. Let me just get this door open. Do you think a door can stop me, Jack? I was
Made
to
for open doors. But yeah, rats are still around, and people still click on them. Some people will let install TeamViewer on their computer and then let people install other access tools onto their computers. I got love, like literal love and respect for Kit Boga. Because all he does is make those people waste their time dealing with him. And I loathe scammers. I'm not as good as Kit Bogus, so I can't drag him on for the hours that I would love to. But flat out, if I had the skills he has, the acting ability, oh boy, would I be doing that 24/7. Jump one call center to the next. Opening them up and making them lose money. Hemorrhage the money that they waste on me.
Activating additional door defenses. Turrets deployed.
Jim Browning, by the way, is one of my favorite people on YouTube.
Dispatching additional troops.
And he does a lot of the same type of stuff that Kit Boga does. There's a few people on... Scammer Revolts used to do a lot of it. I haven't seen his stuff on my channel pop up on my recommendeds in a while. But that could just be the content I'm absorbing. But, yeah. They waste their time. While Scammer Revolts gets quite aggressive with them and starts calling them names and speaking to them in Hindi, he knows enough to swear at them in Hindi. Let me put it that way. Kit Boga is more of a, why do you do this? Let's reform you. Jim Browning does much the same. He's like, why are you doing this? Let's reform this situation. What do you need to do to get out of the life that you're living? Because all you're doing is harming others.
Dispatching additional troops.
Is that good for your karma? No, it's not. And he will flat out call that type of, these guys' behavior out. Because they can't prey on people like me. And I say can't. They are unable to catch me when it comes to stuff like this. They're more of an annoyance. I like, I don't know about other people. I take pride in what I do. I can be the, have the worst job ever, and I'm going to take pride in what I'm doing. Not necessarily, not what I'm doing, the job I do. So let's say I was going to become a scammer. I would not take the route that these guys do. They remind me, resourcefulness, let's hold on to that, let's check it out later. A really good example of it is, if you've ever seen Deus Deacon's, reviews of movies, he did a series called Wishmaster. Wishmaster is actually one of my favorite horror series. The first two with Andrew Divoff are just amazing. But he poses the question that is the easiest question to answer. So, you have to have so many souls, get a wish granted, and then after you grant those wishes, you have to get the person who woke you 3 wishes granted. Why do you corrupt those wishes and make them evil? When it would be so much easier to give them what they want, and then walk away and then kill them later. Once you're the ruler of Earth. This is the same thing with those scammers. And I know they're not listening to my stream because I can see how many people are watching. The reality is, let's take a really good look at this. If they didn't act like assholes, they would make more money.
You feel that, child killer?
they would make a shit ton more money.
This world is gonna end.
But no. They want to prey on the weak, they want to prey on the defenseless, and that type of shit is just, you know, yeah, pass, hard pass. Okay, it's not better.
No refunds. Get out.
So, they don't take pride in what they do, so I mock that. I'm like, you guys know how bad of a job you're doing, right?
Present for you.
My grandma called me the other day and laughed about how you guys were so bad at what you're doing that she knew off the bat that you were fake. Like, how weak is your game at that point?
You fellas beat the missus?
Like, I make those guys feel bad for what they're doing. Because a lot of people do take pride in the work that they do, even if they don't like the work that they're doing. And I know that may not make a lot of sense to some folks, but it's the truth. You can hate your job, but still want to be the best person at doing your job. And that's specifically what I'm talking about. You loathe the actual position you're in, but god damn it, you're here. You're gonna make sure that it's you're gonna make sure you're doing the best that you can do. And I point that out to people, and these people really don't. The scam callers really don't like me, because I guess they don't like being called out for being shitty at what they do. Come on, there we are. Yeah, I'm done. And by the way, I could literally talk about this for hours. Like not just in general, but like getting into specifics. Information security is broad and narrow at the same time. You can have people focusing on even a single aspect of information security and not know all the details to it. And I think that is actually, I'm going to be honest, I think that's intimidating for some people. Because normally, whenever you think of a subject matter expert, you think of someone who knows every aspect, every facet. There is nothing that they do not know about the subject. But in information security, that is impossible. There is no knowing everything. You can have a concept of everything, but at no point will you know absolutely everything there is that needs to be known about information security. Ever. Some point, something new is going to come along. You're not going to know it. And any information security officer or information security specialist you ever speak to who says anything otherwise, they're selling you something.
Let me get this out of the way. You get the hell away from my friend.
And that's not a joke. That's not an over-exaggeration. Anyone who tells you they know everything there is about any subject for that matter, they're wrong. I will make an argument for someone who created and designed an algorithm, maybe. Or they designed a product that is their sole creation and no one else worked on. But broadly speaking, if someone says they're a subject matter expert on everything in this subject matter, the answer is no, they're not. They might know a lot, they don't know all.
Mordecai's in position, and my fists are hungry. Let's go!
Okay.
This way!
Knowing everything about information security would probably be just a headache, though. burned down from remote.
Kill it, sweetheart. Come and get it.
Okay, plenty of ammo here. Sorry if it's a boring subject for you guys. But that stuff interests me. And it's the reason I ended up trying to get into this field. Right now, I'm still waiting on a job in it. But on the other side of that, right now, I'm not really like looking for a position either because I got a nice role where I'm at. And so far, I get paid a lot of money to do not a lot of work. So at least for the moment, I'm content with what I'm doing. There we go. Good. Woo. No idea what popped me there. This is one of those scenes where, like, there's lots of chaos. Alright. But yeah, information security is my jam. It's fun to talk about, and I need to start studying again, to be honest. I want to stay at the company I'm working at now for at least 6 months. And the reason why is they've got me my first level of security clearance, which is public trust. And there is, I don't want them to think that I just got the job to get the clearance. Okay. One bad thing down, next bad thing. So, I believe something like that is deserved at least 6 months of time. I want to stay a year. But more than likely, in about 3 months, I'm going to start hardcore looking for a job in information security. No, it's not. Hello. Bye-bye. See what I mean about this grenade scaling up? It doesn't actually technically scale, but the damage it does never really goes out of fashion. But yeah, even me, question what I say. One of the things that I think I see a lot of, and this is what I'm looking at, like people talking about it, people posting about it, and different things that works for them, is not a lot of people begin to question what's been said. They accept everything that they've been told on face value. If I told you, and I'm going to use Jason Street again, I'm going to invoke his name. If I told you Jason Street went to a power company substation, which had network access to their internal network, and he walked in there wearing pajama bottoms and a plain white t-shirt, and he was able to break into that building with a piece of cardboard that was found on site, you should question that. You should question him. Now what he's going to do is he's going to show you his receipts. Because the company that he did this to questioned him on it. And he's like, here, you want me? Okay, here you go. Here's footage. You don't believe me? Here's my receipts. And he's one of those guys who always has receipts. It's probably one of the reasons I actually have a great deal of respect for the guy. He's very much one of those people who he's looking to make the world better. What I want to do is after I make my retirement, because eventually I am. With the field I'm getting into, eventually I will actually be able to retire. I don't know when it'll be, but I will be able to have a opportunity to retire. I want to teach high school, and specifically I want to teach a course in high school that focuses on protecting yourself from information security attacks. How to protect yourself. Why you should never, ever, ever give your account information to anyone for any reason. What to do if you feel like you've been hacked. Who to reach out to. Because all of those subjects are subjects I'm not sure if is being taught. If we pretend for a moment, like let's not, that's what I want to say. Let's not pretend like students aren't doing the same thing that we were doing back in high school. And sharing their bodies with each other, whether clothed or not. God damn it. What we're going to find is that a lot of these students forget. They don't think, and it's not their fault. They don't think about, oh, well, I only sent it to Johnny, and it was only my boobs. What do I have to worry about? Yeah, well, Johnny's computer has been hacked. And we're getting, I'm not even going to touch the subject about it technically distributing child pornography yet. That's a different discussion for a different day. I'm talking about the basics here. Well, Johnny downloaded a lot of porn onto his computer, and now he has a virus. And all that virus is a rat. And the rat isn't really a rat. And I'm doing this on purpose, by the way. It all has a meaning. So what happens is, Johnny's computer has something Johnny has something on his computer that allows a third party full access to his computer, and that third party decides, ooh, she looks hot. Let me put it on the internet. Well, there you go. That's how your tits got on the internet. And that's not to say I don't want. Oh, tough subject. I should have chosen something different. So very specifically, I think children don't have the education that they need in order to protect themselves online. And I think that's like one of the classes that should be taught. You should tell them what not to do. Do they need to know how to encrypt their files? No. But they need to know that if they get an email saying, hey, I want to help you become a big star, I need a face shot and I need a topless shot, they need to say no to that stuff. And that's something I think that gets heavily overlooked. I mean, granted, back when I was younger, and yeah, I feel old for saying this, we essentially played show me yours and I'll show you mine. We didn't have cell phones that had pictures on them until I was already out of high school. And by that point, I was already an adult. Although I lost one of my favorite pictures due to a phone swap one year. I had one of those. So it wasn't a Nokia phone. It was one of those phones. It was one of the first phones that actually had a camera in it. And it had this shitty little camera. But before me and my wife got married, we were dating, of course. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. My nose is stuffy as that. So I'm taking a pill to help unstuff it. It could just be that I worked outside today, get my car fixed. But, what I was saying, picture. My wife and I, we weren't even fiancés then, but I was working at Papa John's. Or we might have been engaged. Huh. I don't remember. But, we are laying down together, and we're not doing anything. We're just, like, cuddling, like, laying down together. Sorry. And, my sister-in-law grabbed my phone, took a picture of us sleeping together. And it was one of those very idealistic pictures, too. But me and my wife, we were both asleep. We had passed out. Passed out isn't the right word. I don't think we were conscious. But my sister-in-law later showed me the picture. I'm like, oh, that's going to stay with me forever. The idea of the picture did, not the picture itself. And,
This is where it all ends.
Hi, Jack.
Here charges the key. I'll control the warrior and wipe you bandits off my planet. When you get to hell, tell your Vault Hunter friends I said hey.
You've only killed one to this point.
Hey, you're right on time. Key's nearly ready. But before I cleanse this planet for good, I'm gonna avenge my daughter.
It's killing time!
Okay, where you're at? Okay, there you go. Don't need to.
That it? Huh?
Doesn't need to be anymore.
No! The key's charged!
I'm not dying yet. You're too late, bandit! I win! The greatest helium power Pandora has ever seen. And it's mine to control!
Kill. What's wrong with him?
Almost rising! Get to high ground!
Oh, it's inside the bubble. Okay, where'd you go?
Not now!
Alright. There's a very specific reason why I'm switching over. As much as I like Moxie's weapons, they don't do nearly enough damage that I need to do to the warrior to push him through his phases. Fuck me. And with the elemental damage being kind of nerfed against him, explosive is a really good substitute for it.
Say hello,
Almost rising! Get to high ground!
And as you can see, this specific combination is dumb, stupid, strong.
Almost rising! Get to high ground!
Warrior's about to pop up center console now.
Oh, badass. I think you killed it. Never hurts to make sure, though. Hit the button on the moonshot console.
Okay. Nitpicky just in time. How did the moonshot know where to shoot? Did you see me program an attack coordinate? A vector for the incoming attack? No, we did not.
Filthy bandit! See, I could have saved this planet. See, I could have actually restored order. And I wasn't supposed to die by the hands of a child-killing psychopath! You're a savage! You're a maniac! You are a bandit! And I am the goddamn hero! The warrior was practically a god. How? How in the hell have you killed my warrior?
Was he your warrior to begin with?
You idiots! The warrior could have brought peace to this planet. No more dangerous creatures, no more bandits. Pandora, it could have been paradise!
I forget how long he rants. Let's find out.
This is the end, Vault Hunter. Either you kill Jack, or I'll kill him for you. What's it gonna be?
Oh, look at that.
That was for Roland, asshole.
Wait a sec. Let me. You don't want to touch this thing right now, trust me.
Dibs.
Slow down, man. I nearly bought it back there. Hey!
It's been a while since I've had to take
Where the
something
hell
like
were you
Mucinex
guys 5 minutes
to have a
ago?
good breathing
If
day.
it weren't for the Vault Hunter, we'd all be dead.
I think
Let me see.
that's what we're saying we would.
I figured that.
If I never see this key again, it'll be too soon. It's been fun, you alien.
What the? Are those vaults?
You know what that means.
Yeah. No rest for the wicked.
All right. All right. So that is track 1 through the game. And like the last 3 fucking years, no legendary from the primary kill. He's supposed to actually have a higher drop rate for legendary items for the first kill. Let's see if he'll respawn on his own or if I have to actually leave and come back. Nope, not what I meant to do. I want to hit level 30 before I jump into the DLC. Select character, normal mode, because I do not do TVHM for BorderQuest. Although, I was talking to someone about this. Oh, I have to do it anyways. Fuck off. I was talking about this with somebody else, and I think next year is the year of the specialist. For anyone who doesn't remember, I label the classifications of each character by the, I'm almost at 30. I'm not going to worry about it. I label all the characters basically by 4 different classes. Soldier, Siren, Sniper, and Specialist. All the specialists so far, outside of TPS, have been dual wielders. All right. No, we're going to do Fight for Sanctuary first. So, here's the catch. Yep, I know. So, I'm thinking the year after next year, is going to be the year of the second playthrough. I'm going to go through, find my strongest characters, because most of them I haven't deleted. By the way, bringing down that... Alright, give me 1 minute, I will be right back, guys.
Remember the vault key, right? It had that map with all the crazy floating holograms. The Vault Hunters believed it would take them to vaults across the galaxy. Of course, sometimes when you're busy looking forward, you forget to watch your back.
I do not understand why we haven't left Pandora yet. We're nowhere closer to finding the vaults. This map is the most important scientific discovery in all of human history, and Mordecai is using it as a coaster.
Does that matter? We don't even know which planets these are yet. I don't like flying blind.
Sanctuary's holding together using spit and wishful thinking. She's barely staying in the air, let alone leaving the planet.
Well, we gotta do something. People are talking about disbanding the Raiders, saying Pandora don't need us now that Jack's gone. We need a leader.
She don't want the job, man. And can you blame her? Sometimes when you're the one calling the shots, people get hurt.
Not making a choice is still a choice.
So then, we have no plan, no working ship, no leader, and a soda can on the vault key!
Lil, we need to make a call. What do you think?
Ellie?
That ain't the entrance, Lil.
This is Lilith. Sanctuary is under attack. All civilians evacuate the city immediately. Crimson Raiders, to me! Take them down, Vault Hunter! Crimson Raiders, defend our home! Show them what we're made of! We're under attack. You know what to do, Vault Hunter.
Got him in my sights!
This is our home! Push him out!
Ha! Hell yeah!
Keep it up, Vault Hunter!
They just keep coming!
Oh, I guess I'm supposed to be saving people, huh? Private Jessup. Okay. So, a couple reasons why we're starting with this DLC versus the other ones. To be honest, it's one of the more interesting ones. And it has some pretty interesting weapons in it that's going to help us continue on in the game. And I am saving Tiny Tina's for last this year on purpose. And it is partially because Tiny Tina's coming, Wonderland is coming out later on this month. But more specifically because I just really, I think this would be fun to do first. If I get the toothpick, it'll be, it'll make the rest of the game much more exciting. Fight for Sanctuary. Flippity floppity. New magazine. Let's get in here and kill some things. Now, when I first played through this right here, I was wondering how I'm going to beat it. Because as you see, they just keep spawning in. And I think that's kind of the purpose, is that there's so many of these guys you become overwhelmed. And I know that's like a self-evident phrase to say that there's just a shit ton of them and they keep spawning in. But I think the purpose was literally to overwhelm you where you cannot win. Like, who's not jumping back from a grenade? Now, this is where they get a lot of humor in. And it's over the entirety of the expansion. Now, the expansion is relatively short in comparison. We've got a few main missions to do, and you'll see how quickly this goes. I don't know if I'll finish it tonight since we only have about... we have about 2.5 hours. I might be able to finish it.
Time to change the world. Whose soul is this?
Now, to point out why this guy makes a good villain for a expansion, clear goals. There isn't any of this ambiguous nature to them.
Those weren't bandits that attacked us. They were trained soldiers. And that gas, it turned people into monsters. Find us a base camp while I look around for the others. We'll rally the troops and take
There was a clear and definite intent. It's why Jack works as a villain.
At ease, cowards. This is Colonel Hector of the new Pandora Army. Stop running now. I already got what I wanted. Sanctuary and the vault key are mine once again.
So, Sanctuary is rather interesting because there is the possibility that, because it really wasn't originally a doll facility.
Without your man rolling, you'll turn into a pack of baby rats with your tent. You know, back in the day, Sanctuary was the pride of dolls mining fleet. Seems to have fallen into disrepair. I hope you don't mind, but I've already made some upgrades. Here, I'll say it for you. Incoming.
Mighty bastards! This is my kingdom! Squatters' rights! Bro!
Bro.
Okay, who's saving me? Roll call!
Now,
Anyone who's not gargling vine
the interesting thing is, if you haven't played Tales from the Borderland, you don't know who that is. In Borderlands 2, you actually come across Borderlands 3. You actually come across Reese, and this was one of his friends that went with him.
Scratchy scratch! Oh, not you two! You were the toughest one of all.
Come on, burn him down, burn him down. Oh, look at that, you're burning down. My love for you is like a truck bazooka. Yeah, I know it's an old reference. But I'm just murdering folks. And there we hit level 30. Incoming.
I hear the sounds of bloodthirsty murder, and I love it!
And I love it.
Mystery bandit, kill those fine freaks and turn that tide!
And that grenade, mind you, is an unleveled grenade.
Now I'm sitting in some sort of clown-themed novelty bar, enjoying Wico pizza and watered-down booze. Hell of a lifestyle, folks, but it makes you soft. My experience in Army rocks from the top down.
Now, I absolutely love Hector.
That's why they follow me. We are New Pandora. We're the men who split our backs on the promise of paradise, but it was stolen from us. Now we're taking it back, starting with your ship and your key. Now paradise isn't coming, and if I have to choke the life out of every last person on this planet to get there, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Hector is actually really amazing as a villain. And it can't be understated how he as a character defines this DLC.
Oh crap! A Vault Hunter!
It is Hyperion. Just kidding. Hi, Vaughn.
Easy, easy! Hey, let's not get all shooty at me, okay? My name is Vaughn.
Now, one thing I gotta say that Borderlands 3 did really well is the Vault Hunters actually interacted with the people there.
You're home too, huh? Well, I guess we better join forces. Welcome to my camp, the Back Burner. Huh? Look, Hector's Vine Freaks could be back at any moment.
Come on. All right. Again.
We gotta reset the security relays to get that firewall a-flaming.
I find these jokes funny as fuck. I love the idea of people going, oh, a firewall. You mean a wall of fire? No, that's not a firewall. It is now. And even in the pre-sequel, which did actually come out before this DLC did, the idea of a literal firewall bot inside of Claptrap is hilarious.
Now that dude Hector's walking around like he's mega president king of Pandora or whatever. You know, Pandora's like air or meat or underwear. It's meant to be shared.
Yeah, all except for that underwear one. That's a little gross, my dude. Then we're gonna come over here. And literal firewalls.
The last relay. We'll have that old firewall a-flaming in no time. And if any of my clan survive, they'll come running when they see a fire. They always do. It's hilarious. You did it! If Hector sends more Vine Freaks, we'll be ready. Damn, it's one of those Vine Freaks! Kill it, stab it, shoot it! Sweet kill. Now, let's chat Blood Pact.
Yeah, about that.
I never thought I'd team up with a filthy, smelly Vault Hunter like you, but desperate Vine Freak gas turning times call for desperate measures. Screw that home thief, Hector. You and I are gonna mess that dude up.
Let's see. Nope. Pass on blood packs. I don't know where you've been. Granted, you're on Pandora, so I kind of know where you've been, and that makes it even worse. Let me see if I can skip this. Like, as amusing as some of the dialogue is, I just want to skip past it the majority of the time. Okay, there we go. And this is actually, this DLC is one of the reasons I pick up this specific SMG. Because this specific SMG is devastating, and this specific SMG is devastating in this DLC. Yeah, there you go. It took me a couple times, but I got it. And there's a lot of really nice nods to older characters in here too.
Up with that bandit from Helios? Figures. They gave up their moonshot cannons real easy. Now I can launch my paradise gas wherever my eye can see. Adapt and reuse. That's called strategy. You know, if you ever want to taste victory for a change.
So ready to kill that guy.
And
Get Tannis those samples, killer. I'll keep rounding
so
up the raiders.
here is the really interesting thing, is what he's doing is actually good. From a character perspective, what he is doing is he's trying to make her feel inferior. It has nothing to do with her being a woman. It has to do with military tactics. If you can make her feel like a piece of shit, you might have you're bound to make more mistakes. You make more mistakes, all of a sudden you have an upper hand in the war.
Look for closed vaults. I need pure specimens. See, the gas has infected the local fauna as well. Vault Hunter, try obtaining samples from those infected skags.
Okay, let's grab that real quick. All shields. Nothing good. Let's see. We'll pick it up. We can use it to sell. Flower down. Dead spory thing. What is it? There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
These mutated plants are enormous, even by Pandoran standards. It's unlikely that this gas is naturally occurring. Someone engineered it.
Again, this grenade is amazing.
Elegantly designed to increase biomass at an exponential rate. In dumb speak, gas makes tiny plant go big and do the ouch. Creating this gas would require an understanding of advanced biogenetics I can only describe as brilliant. Housing. Now we must discern how the gas is infecting humans. I will require samples, specifically brain matter, which I like to call good gray stuff.
Wow. Wow.
This DLC.
Yes, just as I suspected. I gained absolutely no information from those infected skags. The scientific method prevails again.
I love how calm she is about that. So one of the weapons I'm hoping to get is the toothpick. The toothpick is a rainbow rarity. It's not a pearlescence. Now, given that those rarities came about only after Borderlands 3 was announced and it was already planning on coming out, I actually have no issues with it in general. At least from a broader perspective. Now, if the game had launched with it, I think I might end up having objections to it, but since it didn't, I'm good.
Class 5 biohazard suit on. Just a few more samples, Vault Hunter.
Okay.
I've almost
Hold on.
reached a conclusion.
There we go. And that was my goof again. Hello, new Pandoran pen. There we go. Next one down. Okay, cool. We have another one and another one. Yeah, I'm done. Well, I'm not done streaming. I mean, this life. It has to be reset. Back to the beginning of the game. No. No, not at all. I'm not doing one life, and I've tried to do one life runs. I really have. Now, what's actually doing the damage is not the machine gun. The reason I like the machine gun is the machine gun has a good rate of fire. And that good rate of fire means that the B shield amp damage is able to get a lot in. Hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend. Okay. Bam spawned in. Dead. Nade out. Is it your Pandora? Or will I murder the lot of you? Now, I have to say, I've said this every year since I've started BorderQuest. This was actually, or well, ever since this came out, this was a good bridge between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. Oh, look, more weapons.
The brain, taking over the nervous system. The subjects are left nearly mindless, like a slag huff addict or a music enthusiast.
I
have disappointing news. I lack the expertise necessary to synthesize the gas and create our own legions of plant-human hybrids. Again, not doing that. You sound just like that university ethics board. No matter. Return to the back burner and send me those samples. Running out of iridium, so I'm gonna make one last sweep for survivors. See you back at camp. What a horrifying creature! Dissect it with your weapon of choice. Like I always say, the more horrifying specimen. Well done! Pointless, but well done.
And see, we're finally seeing things that are going to outstrip this grenade. There's a lot of things like that. The reason I have such an obsession with the double anarchy is there's not a lot of weapons that, in my opinion, beat it on pure DPS.
I've made every preparation and completely disrobed so that there is nothing between me and the laboratory-grade mylar of this biohazard suit. The sensation is very satisfying.
So, that should not be as hot as it actually is. I take the advice of my older brother very well. I do not stick my dick in crazy. However, I'm not sure if I could resist that was an offer. And of course, I wasn't married. Always, the statements like that are accompanied by that specific phrase.
That sound?
Vault Hunter, over here. Tannis is working on an antidote. Meantime, let's find a way back up to Sanctuary.
Yo, Lilith, me and Talon got a nice perch up by Mount Scarab. Might have found a way up to Sanctuary.
Mordecai, to hear from...
Skip dialogue. You're gonna see me do this a lot once we get to Borderlands 3. And so I want to say this. They tried. For me, that matters. Borderlands 3 tried to tell a more compelling narrative. But they bogged it down. So I can actually relate this to anime because I've been in I think it's damn near going on a week now conversation about character growth in anime and which anime had the most character growth and blah blah blah. Boring shit. And I said very clearly I don't like the growth. I'm biased, and I'm biased because I have other series I think that has better growth for the for characters. And people, I wouldn't say they were harassing me, but the same thing applies here. One Piece is a good anime with shitty ass pacing. The only way your characters are growing is because you stop all of the narrative to make them grow. It's annoying, it's frustrating, and it makes me not want to read it. And that's exactly how I feel about a lot of what happened in Borderlands 3 is you get a lot of character growth. However, you end up with a long-term and fucking annoying-ass game.
Whoa, Cassius? I know that science dude. I'm gonna call him now. Yo, Cassius. Hey, it's Vaughn. Vaughn, hello. I'm rather busy on a secret project. Gotcha. Super quick question. Did you plant monster up my bros? I would never plant monster up your bros.
Hector swore that.
See, I've been tricked into working for an evil megalomaniac. My bad. Hey, happens to the best of us, bro. Come to my secret laboratory. The entrance is through the old doll mine. I'll begin working on an antidote immediately. I got eyes on the mine, Lilith. Let you know if I see anything.
Keep me posted, Mordecai. The Vault Hunter will meet you there.
Now, throughout this expansion, there's not a lot of DLC. I keep calling it an expansion. That's the way I've always viewed content like this, as an expansion of the content. So the expansion actually gets into some really hilarious moments because people stop being caricatures and they start being like self-aware. You have a incredibly intelligent doctor, the scientist, who just doesn't realize, oh, I'm being manipulated. Hey, this is what's going on. Oh, I guess I have been manipulated. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me try to reverse what I've done. Almost down, good. One more nade out, and that should be it. Ooh. Oh, no wonder you're not taking as much damage. We're both pyros. Except for I'm a bit better.
It's Talon, Mordecai's new bird. I think he's trying to tell us something. What's that, Talon? Mordecai got attacked by vine freaks. Vault Hunter,
Like, you gotta respect the jokes. Like, it's hard to be upset at a Lassie joke.
Still haven't heard from Mordecai. Keep following Talon. We've lost too much already.
Like,
Can't lose Mordecai.
it straight up has a Lassie joke.
Fighting together since the beginning. We had each other's backs. We fought together. That's how we survived for so long. When Roland died, Mordecai got me through some dark times. Couldn't have taken down Jack without him. The Crimson Raiders wouldn't be the same without Mordecai.
less drunk. Hi. This was not a very smart idea, was it? Wow. Hi. Bye. Nope, that's gonna hurt. Okay. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Even at this level, they still can overwhelm me super easy. So I don't get overwhelmed. Okay, what we got? Nothing good. Nothing good, okay. Talon to me! But yeah, it's hard to be upset at a Lassie reference.
Sentry deployed!
Good. Yeah, you're taking your shots in on me. You might. Yep, you're gonna do that. Yeah, I'm totally not worried about dying over and over. BorderQuest is really supposed to be about enjoying the games. And I'm going to continue to do that. If it means dying, I die. I'm good with that. Ooh, look, I have another grenade. It doesn't show up on camera well.
Dropping sentry!
Hi. I like to set things on fire. Have you met our Lord and Savior, Fire? I made that joke one too many times throughout the last 2 weeks. Well, actually, it's only been about a week, I think. No scope required. They did him wrong with that mouth open look.
Hang in there, Mordecai. The Vault Hunter's coming.
Vault Hunter! Hell yeah! I show these silent soldiers what the raiders can do.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not getting back up from that one. Yeah, the problem with using the B shield is you are 110% glass cannon. There is no middle ground on that. Therefore, you can't get hit. Alright, got 2 grenades. That should be enough to bring them down to where I need them. There we go.
I'm on my way.
Now that's amazing.
Is it just iridium over here? Ooh. Almost a good shield.
Those pendejos cropped us to me.
Damn it! Mordecai's infected. This isn't my fault. We need that antidote now.
I'll take him back to camp. Get through that mine and find the scientist.
Excellent. I eagerly await your arrival. Good luck at that old doll mine. I heard that place was haunted. Cursed haunted.
And we come over here to the mine. And for once, bad guys make intelligent decisions. This is why I like Hector.
What, did you think I'd leave my flank exposed to counterattack? That's basic military strategy. I already reinforced that door with 3 feet of solid titanium, you dum-dums. Point Hector.
This guy's a 4-star asshole, but again, he's right. That gate's too thick for me to phase through. Come on back to camp and we'll figure it out.
So something I want to point out. I was having a conversation. I don't remember who it was. It was another streamer, and we were talking about the possibility of like the because they talk about the corporate wars in like these segments throughout the games about how bad the corporate wars were. People, I was talking with someone who's like, yeah, it would be interesting to see a game from the corporate world, the corporate wars, and how nice it would be to see like, and we were just talking about Atlas, and we're like, okay, well, Steel has to be in there. Nox is hilarious. Tannis' father, for example. Tannis' father could be one of the characters. He worked for Atlas instead of Dahl.
We need to punch through that gate somehow.
And we couldn't figure out the last character. So we just thought it would be kind of interesting. And it is a really neat idea. How cool would it be to play through the corporate wars of the Pandora, of Borderlands? Now, before they found Pandora, there were, like, other worlds that they probably explored. They definitely found a vault on Promethea. So that's the reason using Atlas would work so well. Since we don't know...
You actually brought an infected soldier back to camp. Man, I keep thinking you mind the idiot shaft.
So here's what my thought is.
Strike a big old vein.
Steel isn't an adult. Steel is a child at the time of the corporate wars. I don't know exactly when the corporate wars ended, but thinking about it from like a high level, that would be an interesting place, because then you can have a short character in your lineup. You can have a character who is super powerful, and she's already a siren. At the opening of the vault, she gets her siren abilities, and then you can expand out how the vaults also work by basically saying the vaults can contain a siren's powers because they were built by sirens to do exactly that. Which would be really interesting when you think about it, and how it could actually progress the world in general. I think that would be awesome. And you would get all these little nice little things to accompany it. So it's just one of those things that I was thinking about, and I think that could really work out.
He's really got our test tubes in a the hell do you think you're doing? Nah, it doesn't matter. I've already won. Here's how this ends. Me presiding over paradise, you twisting your mutated limbs into a knot and dying alone like a sad pretzel. Point, Hector.
Ooh. Let me see something real quick. Okay, I know what I'm investing in next. And steady. I'll worry about that later. Power me, boys.
Here you go.
Now, Wormin Boys here can drop the new style of weapons that was introduced in this patch. Ooh. I now have slag turrets. Hi there, you. There you are. Come on. Come on. Now these guys can drop the rainbow rarities. Queens have a higher chance of dropping it. And I think there are some more wormies over here. Okay, there we go. Come on. That's weird. Normally they, there's a queen amongst these guys. But I'm going to farm them real quick. Mostly because I want to see if I can't get, the toothpick. Because I like the toothpick. Oh, look. Wormos!
Want some of this? Say hello, beautiful.
I thought I got the, Oh, no, it adds a second gun to the single turret. Okay, that's right. And now, like I said, we are looking for some specific weapons because they are fun to play with. And because this is all meant for fun. Although these particular worms like to be frustrating on purpose. What do we got? What do we got? Retainer! See what I was talking about? How those have a higher chance of dropping this stuff? But we're not looking for the retainer. The retainer, I think it only works in one place really well. And it called it the Riding Deep. And I know that is a specific location. It's like not all of the DLC, essentially. Okay. Okay, what do we got over here? Just the health, okay. Okay. Now I also want the iridium because the iridium's going to help with assault rifle ammo here in a minute. I should probably go back and farm someone who is weak to fire to do this, but that's all right. Yep, just making sure there isn't a fourth worm. This is going to be a really long stream. I know I've bitched about a specific streamer before, but it really is sad to see someone constantly complaining, "This is my life, guys. This is my life." And not put more effort into it. Like, if I was trying to really make a career off of streaming, I'd have fancy layouts. Whenever I do something, whenever I'd mug, it'd be on a better camera. And my computer would definitely be upgraded to the best I could get.
Want to meet my girlfriend? That's my girl.
What we got? What we got? Another retainer. That's okay.
Kaboom! Boom shakalaka!
Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. And there's a lot of people who've played this game that doesn't know where that comes from. Or at least why it's important to gaming. I want a toothpick. Now, let's see something real quick. Apply for Sanctuary. Ghost. Let's see. Yeah, it is a Game of Thrones. Yeah. Okay. She's like, so whatever. And I think I already got the relic. Yeah, winter's over. I'm not gonna keep killing that skag. It's not worth it. However, I still want a toothpick. Now, one good thing about the kill skill, it is easier to get around. Any more over here? Nope, got all three. Okay. I've never seen them spawn in that pattern before, so yeah. I guess I should only give it one more try. Since I'm uploading the entire videos, it's kind of hard to subject people to even more grinding when it's not necessary.
Tossing grenade!
Three retainers? 3 of them. Ah, damn it! I did it. This will be the last one because I'm moving on from here. I'm not gonna go and get the extra 3, which I didn't even think about when I was doing it.
High quality, low prices, and no questions asked. Come back anytime.
Gotta remember not. Oh, I also forgot to do something I needed to do.
Let's just get this out of the way. Yes, most of my merchandise was ripped from the hands of dead adventurers.
This was not meant to be longer than as long as it was. 3 fucking retainers and no toothpick.
Dropping sentry! Nothing like a turret kit! Tossing lasher! Boom shakalaka!
And even though this is low level, the reason you do it here is this actually has the greatest density of these sandworms for grind time. Yeah, we're just moving on. I could probably spend an hour here. See, that's the thing about playing something casually. And I'm talking like super casually versus playing it to like do a project. Like this is a project. But the difference between like playing it super casual, like if I'm not streaming and I'm doing something like this, I'm farming that toothpick. Hell, I might farm a level 72 toothpick. But whenever you're playing it casually and you're streaming it, you've got to play for not just yourself. Which is kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure if more people were here, they'd tell me just get on with it already. I'm quite sure of it.
Hell yeah! Eat knuckles, shrub!
Brick.
Yo, Slab, I heard Morty was in town. I'm in. Follow me.
Rick, you're here. I know we haven't always seen eye to eye.
Yo, Lily, I got leadership style. But as long as Morty's in trouble, I'm on the team. Nothing else to say.
I'll leave you to it. Do what you do best, Rick.
Mordecai's been on my ass about getting a non-punching hobby, like gardening. But the joke's on him.
Come on, you're infected, and I'm gonna. Oh, there we go. Here, you need to get put down too.
More shrub dudes up ahead. Nothing these weed rats can't handle.
There we go. Okay. What are you waiting on, Brick? Now, granted, this, the way they tackled it, is actually pretty good for what you might actually see in a real friends group. This is something a lot of games miss. Because they try to treat every character as perfect. And interestingly enough, I've been watching a lot of Steven Seagal reviews because I can't watch his actual movies because they're boring as fuck.
Damn,
that is like a flaw of his, is he never lets himself be injured, so there is no real feel to it. Hello, you. Hello, you. She's like, so whatever. Hi, you. Aw, ain't it cute? Aren't you just a little infected? Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about, like, different ways content creators interact with their folks, and it makes me think I don't want to be a lot of these guys.
Tossing a masher! Kaboom! Catch! Grenade!
Where you at, Brick? Hi there, Brick.
Let's show these bricks who's planning.
Okay. Aim speed. Impact it is. Time to go murder now.
Bruise my cuticle on that one. Hell yeah. I'll post up here. You get in there and blast those fools. Morty's life is on the line. Time to practice some botany. See you at the backburner slab.
So you have to like characters like that. Like the whole point of like playing video games and enjoying video games is to enjoy them. Like I can nitpick everything. You name something, I can fucking nitpick it.
Moonshot cannon to clear the way to Cassius. He's our only hope of curing Mordecai.
Right, of course, totally. Yeah.
Like there's no two ways around it. I can nitpick everything.
Meet my lady friend.
And it might be one of the reasons my wife gets annoyed at me so easily. And you sit down and you play these games, and some people just want to say, ugh, that's not realistic. How is it going to grow inside of them? They don't have any type of actual... No. Enjoy the game for what it is. Like people bitching about the mechanics in Elden Ring. And it's not a lot of people. It's a scant few in comparison. It's like, this is the From Software design philosophy on display. Are you gonna play their game? No, then it probably wasn't made for you. And I know that seems like a dickish thing to say, but it's true. the core philosophy behind the game can actually affect how the player interacts with it. If you go into this DLC knowing it's supposed to be a bridge between 2 and 3, explain a couple of things, and then for you to have a lot of fun in this environment, then why the fuck nitpick things? I like to nitpick. I find that fun. So I'm not nitpicking because I just hate the content. And when I say content, I mean actual content, not like, I'm a content creator on YouTube and Twitch. No, I mean more like what's in the game instead. And I sit down and I play it and I enjoy it. Like, ranting or raving about small little things on it, whatever. But the truth is, I enjoy these games. And it's not for any, like some of the bigger moments are awesome. When I get to it, you might even see me tear up again. But it's my story scene. I'm kind of tearing up a little bit on it, even though I'm kind of leaned back like this. And because of that, there's also little moments where Hector asks, whose soda is this? Because it's sitting on the vault key, and because it's on the vault key, he's actually curious. And then he probably realizes, oh, it's probably one of the Vault Hunters. One of the Crimson Raiders. We don't see what he does with the soda. He might drink the soda. And then this moment.
You go to fire the biggest can on the whole mucka-bluckin' planet, and you didn't call me. I am offended.
Tina, it's a war zone between us and Helios. I'm not putting you in danger.
Lily, girl, I hear you, but I'm your demolitions expert. And now the Vault Hunter is inside, and you can bamf me in to help out with the mission, and I want to so bad, please. It's probably my birthday.
It takes a lot out of me to teleport anything besides myself. It's not as easy as... Fine.
Okay, granted, I have to point something out. You would not be able to do this mission without Tina. Because she is absolutely right. She is the demolitions expert. But let's be clear with what she just did. She was manipulating everybody. Just so she could fire off a giant-ass gun. Now, let's be honest. You give me that same opportunity, and I will want to shoot the giant-ass space cannon. I won't even lie about that. Come on, give me a giant space cannon. I would love to fire it. I don't know many people, and maybe it's just the people I know in my life, who would not want to shoot a giant space station mounted cannon to destroy a giant wall. Anything good in here? Nope. I'm nowhere near as good as the other folks who can just take a look and I go, oh, I already know what's in there.
Listen up, class in session. This is Ballistics 101, and I am Professor Boom. whilst I start constructing
Good, good
the
is a
file,
running
your
joke
homework
throughout
is to
this
get the
expansion.
explosivos that are going inside. Class dismissed!
Love Tiny Tina. So, I'm going to talk about this more when she comes up. There's a reason I don't like Ava. Ava is meant to be Tina's replacement. That's what she's meant to be there. She's meant to be this little Spitfire who replaces Tina as the Spitfire. Now that Tina's a little bit older, that was her intended role. And to essentially have Tina the Siren.
Play the part of the celestial imp, Cherubian. If my love arrows are to fly true, you must purloin 2 stabilizer fins. For when I
And that's what annoys me about her character is that was the intended role, and it's obvious from the very first moment because she's robbing Malawan soldiers. She's meant to be that specific character. And whenever we consider that with the rest of the cast, we're introduced to Tina not in a role where she is being aggressive. We are introduced to Tina as a side character.
this love missile gonna have one. Love is in the air, mon ami. Return post haste.
So whenever we get back around to Ava's introduction, Ava is not seen as Ava. She's seen as Tina 2.0. And a lot of people don't like Tina 2.0. They like Tina 1.0. Now, one of the things that I think a lot of people miss is it's not necessarily Tina's issue.
Now slap them wings on there. Contessa Aorta's gonna be
Ava's writing as a character so much. It also has to do with her voice actress.
Okay, now, go salvage your power core from the bot bay. Not really feeling that shtick this time.
And we're introduced to her
Sorry if I'm being a
trying
bad
to
just
be a
wanna
super
help.
badass.
I want to help out, but it's scary because I don't want to lose him. He's my friend.
And Tina has moments like
Maybe
that.
I'm real. Sometimes I feel like if I don't keep moving, I'll just stop. Maybe it's a defense mechanism. Whatever, it's nothing. Sorry I'm bugging you with all this sad crap. Forget it.
Tina, for all her violence and randomness, she's not entirely random. Wait for it. This is what Ava misses. Have I died that many times recently? But this is what Ava misses. Tina isn't just some unilateral badass. First off, she is treated as a child. People do not correct her on things where she's clearly wrong. She is also less chaotic than what people give her credit for. And that right there might seem like it's super, super wrong to say, but it's true. She is much more focused than people like to think. But Ava, and for all of Tina's issues, we see that she has flaws. And those flaws is what we miss in Ava. Now, if you haven't seen it, there's actually a deleted scene that is slightly restored. They did the voice acting for it, but they didn't do the
Oh my god, I just read the mission objective and it's happening again!
This is another good place to grind too. He drops a lot of nice stuff.
Back to me, Vaulty Vault.
So, the biggest catch is Tina is allowed to be shown with flaws. They do not show Ava with flaws. They show Ava upset. And that's it. We don't see that maybe she's upset that her parents are dead, which we see with Ava. Because she we help her kidnap Sticky Boy, Shock Stick. We torture him. Well, she tortures him.
But you know, if you really wanna, then you do. Really? Really? Oh, Vaulty Vault. I thought you might be raisin. But now I know you chocolate chip.
But Ava, because of the way that they wanted to present her, is presented as flawless as possible. Because that was always their intention. They wanted a replacement for Lilith. And they wanted a new Tiny Tina-like character. By the way, notice we didn't actually build the real bomb. Just saying. And because of that, although those things I just mentioned, Ava does not come off as a three-dimensional character. That cutscene, though, that cutscene that I mentioned, shows Ava and Lilith having a conversation. Shows her being vulnerable.
What in the hell is going on down there? God damn it.
And Hector's reaction is just perfect there.
It's so beautiful.
Good work, everyone. The way up to the lab is clear. Cassius better come through for us. Got a few things to take care of here.
Alright, so I'm going to try something real quick. Maybe they corrected it, maybe they haven't. Normally what you would have to do to get Uranus to respawn is to actually leave Helios altogether. But it looks like they updated the mission objective, and normally that is the trigger for it. But my biggest problem with Ava is exactly that. In that cutscene that they show, it shows Lilith and Ava being open, and they are literally like talking about their issues together. It isn't one character. Yeah, it's. Yep. It isn't just Ava being open. It's Lilith and Ava being open. And they're talking about what Maya meant. And that is where the big difference comes into. And a lot of folks miss that. I think the writers miss that. And it's sad because it could have been so much better.
I heard that from here.
And it's always my thing. I want to see this DSP. I want to see him succeed. Like, really succeed. Not where he's at now, where people are trolling him to keep him exactly where he's at. Because that's a troll, what they're doing.
I don't feel so great in my stamina.
But whenever we take a look at the way that they treated Ava, they tried to make Ava perfect. The reason the director's cut DLC helped out so much is because it shows Ava not in a good light. It shows her confused. It shows her actually willing to look into something. And it gives her, other than insisting on being a vault hunter, it gives her a character. She isn't just, at that point, she's no longer Tiny Tina 2.0. She is Ava.
Should have seen Hector's betrayal coming. In my studies, I discovered that Iridian technology has strange effects on biological.
And that's kind of the whole catch to all of this. Is that the writing failed because the way they wanted to present the new flagship character. Killing off, well, let me rephrase that. Killing isn't the right word. Removing Lilith as essentially the center focus of the Raiders changes everything. Tannis is a better leader. And Tannis is a proper sociopath. I don't like Ava, but that missing cutscene actually gives her more character, and that additional character doesn't make her seem like she's a replacement. I still don't like her because that's exactly what she is. She's a fucking replacement.
I will activate the elevator to the lab. Scarab 191 lost a lot of good men after Dahl left us down there to die.
And that's kind of my thing, and I love talking writing. I would love to sit down with the writer of Borderlands 3 who picked up where Anthony Birch left off and say, what was the intention here? Like, what's the next step? Well, Ava's the leader now. She's 11 or 12, however old she is. We're not looking at, who is it? King, Pharaoh Tut. We're looking at, in this world, a 13-year-old at most. Taking over a space station. After the space station, she has to be the de facto, siren leader. Like, all of it, it's garbage. Wow. That's a little odd. I'm seeing hitching again. I might unplug my computer tonight and blow it out again. But Ava's being set up to be the new Lilith. To be a replacement for Tiny Tina's chaotic energy. And for all those reasons, you take a look at these characters in 3, and it's all about characterization. And Ava isn't given characterization. I swear, it feels like they wrote down one thing for her character. She's a badass. And I've actually seen other characters that it feels like, not in gaming, but definitely in books, or not in books, in movies, where it feels like all they wrote down in the script is hot one. Why? She literally dies fucking. It's her only addition is her tits. And sadly, there's a lot of characters in fictions who are like that. And with my complaint about this game, and again, it all goes back to the same thing. Is that Ava doesn't feel like a character. She feels like a caricature. It doesn't feel like an actual kid who wants to be a vault hunter. Or some... Because see, the way I imagine that they probably wanted to make it look like, and they failed at doing it, is making it look like she's trying to step into Ava's shoes and be Maya's shoes and be Maya. But where they fail is realizing that repeating characters doesn't work.
Cassius, you skag suckling traitor. You could have had a spot in paradise. But there's no room for cowards in the new Pandora. Let's see how long you can hold your breath. No, that maniac is releasing the gas directly into the facility. I can fix this. Oh, one moment.
Containment failure. Emergency lockdown initiated.
And again, this is 3 is a story issue for me. I'm actually not bothered by Lilith's sacrifice. I'm not bothered by Tannis being a siren. I'm not bothered by the overall story. I don't love to hate Tyreen and Troy like you do for Jack. I just hate them. Or loathe them. I don't really hate them. That requires so much energy. And their flaws throughout are repeated over and over again. And this is where you tell a difference between the writing between Anthony and... I don't want to, like, put the guys writing down the other writer. But it was the guy who wrote the first Borderlands. But the problem is that Birch started to put an emphasis on sirens. And I'm thinking that the first writer had no intention of doing something like that. The sirens were just a group of hyper-powered people. But Birch said, let's take this character class and make it something that's, like, valuable to the universe. And maybe the original writer didn't like that idea so much, or something like that. I don't know. Monstered up.
What a sad fate that would be. Ah, yes, oh, the armed guards. Please take care of them, Vault Hunter.
Decontamination complete.
Not so easy. Turret deployed.
Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do like a deep clean on my computer or something. Huh. I'm just waiting for my action skill to finish off cooldown while tagging them. Ooh, couple of grenades.
Present for you.
Okay, this is becoming unbearable to play, much less watch. Okay. So, let's see how far back I'm going to be set. I can't keep doing this. The stuttering is atrocious. I have been streaming for about 4 hours. The bottom. Alright. That's alright, though. With that said, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is for you. I will be back later. Probably sometime tomorrow. Probably tomorrow evening. Sundays are my wife's day, and if she says get up and go, I get up and go. However, we're both kind of like at 9 o'clock, we're in for the night. But with that said, I want to say y'all have a great day. And may joy be to every last one of you, and I hope to see y'all on my next. Hope to see you on my next.